Hello everyone, and welcome back to our Macau travel series. Today is day 5, and sadly, it is also our last day here in Macau. If you are new to this series, or if you've missed the earlier videos, make sure to check out the previous parts of our journey so far. We've already explored Macau's historic streets, beautiful churches, iconic landmarks, museums, casinos, and so many unforgettable places over the last few days. So do watch those videos to follow the complete journey from the beginning. Since our flight is at night, we decided to make the most of our final day by exploring a little more of Macau before heading to the airport. We had requested the hotel for a late checkout, and thankfully, they were so accommodating that they granted our request as we had a loyalty program with the hotel. So that gave us some extra time to enjoy our last few hours here without rushing too much. As usual, we started the day with the breakfast buffet at our hotel. And just like the previous mornings, there was a good spread with plenty of options to choose from. Fresh fruits, breads, hot dishes, juices, tea, coffee, and more. It was the perfect way to fuel up before heading out. And today's plan is to first visit Taipa Village, then head towards the Cotai Strip to explore Wynn Palace, Studio City, and City of Dreams. After that, we'll make our way to Senado Square for one final round of shopping before returning to the hotel. Since we still had to do our final packing and leave for the airport by evening, we planned to cover the major places before noon and keep the rest of the day a little relaxed. So come along with us as we begin our final day in Macau, making the most of every last moment before we say goodbye to this beautiful city.
The first stop for the day is the Taipa Village, and as usual we grab the city bus, which is the most convenient mode of transport in Macau, and reach the village in just half an hour. Taipa Village is one of the most charming and colorful parts of Macau. Unlike the grand casinos and modern resorts of the Cotai Strip, Taipa Village gives us a completely different side of Macau. Quieter streets, pastel-colored buildings, old Portuguese-style architecture, narrow lanes, local shops, cafes, temples, and a beautiful mix of Macanese culture. As we walked through the village, the whole place had a very relaxed and old-world feel. The colorful houses, tiled streets, street lamps, small restaurants, and souvenir shops made it a perfect place for taking photos and enjoying a slower pace before heading to the busy casino area. After spending about an hour exploring the beautiful streets of Taipa Village, taking in its colorful buildings, local shops, and charming old-world atmosphere, it was time to move on to our next stop. From here, we made our way towards Galaxy Hotel, one of the grand and luxurious resorts on the Cotai Strip. The peaceful village vibe of Taipa was completely different from the modern casino resorts, so this transition really showed us the two different sides of Macau, the traditional charm and the glamorous luxury.
Since we were running short on time today, we decided that we wouldn't be going inside the next two places, Galaxy Macau and City of Dreams. We first reached Galaxy Hotel and Casino, but because of our tight schedule, we only saw it from the outside. We had heard that the resort is quite exquisite and beautiful to explore from the inside, but sadly, we had to skip it this time. So after taking a quick look around, we moved on to our next stop, City of Dreams. It was the same situation here as well, since we had to complete our final shopping, return to the hotel, finish packing, and leave for the airport by evening. We couldn't go inside City of Dreams either, but we still spent a little time outside, took a few pictures, and admired the impressive exterior before continuing with the rest of our final day in Macau.
From here, we headed towards Wynn Palace, another beautiful and luxurious resort on the Cotai Strip. Even though we were short on time today, we still wanted to make sure we got a glimpse of Wynn Palace, especially its grand exterior, famous fountain area, the beautiful skycab cable cars, and of course, the beautifully flower-decorated lobbies inside.
After spending about an hour here at Wynn Palace, enjoying the beautiful views, the grand exterior, the fountain area, and taking a few memorable pictures, it was time to move on. From here, we headed towards our last stop on the Cotai Strip for the day, Studio City Casino. Studio City has a completely different vibe with its bold, movie-inspired design and the famous golden reel Ferris wheel, which makes it one of the most unique-looking resorts in Macau. So with time running short but excitement still high, we made our way to Studio City to wrap up our Cotai Strip visit.
The first thing that stands out is the resort's bold Hollywood and movie studio-inspired design. The tall glass towers, grand entrance, bright signage, and Art Deco-style details make the whole place feel like a movie set. The biggest highlight of Studio City is the famous golden reel Ferris wheel. Unlike a normal Ferris wheel, this one is built into the resort in a unique figure-8 shape suspended between the hotel towers. It is one of the most recognizable landmarks on the Cotai Strip and makes Studio City look completely different from the other casinos. Even from the outside, Studio City has a very modern and cinematic feel. The golden reel cabins, the huge glass buffet, and the resort entrance are perfect for photos and videos. After visiting Galaxy, City of Dreams, and Wind Palace, Studio City gave us a completely different vibe. More fun, bold, and entertainment-focused. It was a great final stop to end our casino visits in Cotai Strip before heading to Sonato Square for our last shopping adventure in Macau.
After spending a couple of hours exploring Studio City, enjoying its bold movie-inspired design and the famous golden reel Ferris wheel, it was time to move on from the Cotai Strip. Since we only had a few hours left before heading to the airport for our journey back home, we decided to take a taxi and head straight to Sonato Square. This was going to be our final shopping stop in Macau, a last chance to pick up souvenirs, snacks, gifts, and of course, some memories to take back with us. So, with time running short but the excitement still there, we started our final shopping spree at Sonato Square before saying goodbye to Macau.
After reaching Sonato Square, we spent around 2 hours shopping and picking up some final souvenirs, snacks, and gifts to take back home. Since this was our last chance to shop in Macau, we took our time exploring the shops and enjoying the lively atmosphere one final time. While shopping around Sonato Square, we also took a short break and stopped for some coffee and snacks. After walking around, carrying shopping bags, and trying to cover everything before heading back to the hotel, this little break was much needed. After completing our shopping spree, it was time to head back to the hotel, finish our packing, and get ready for the airport.
After reaching the hotel, we quickly packed our bags, freshened up, and got ready for our journey back home. Once everything was done, we checked out of the room and waited in the hotel lobby for our taxi to take us to the airport.
During our taxi ride to the airport, we got one final glimpse of Macau's nightlife. And with that final night view, we slowly made our way to the airport for our journey back home.
After reaching the airport, we first dropped off our checked-in baggages. Since we still had some extra mop left with us, we exchanged it to Singapore dollars as we were flying back via Singapore and had a long layover there. We also planned to do a little shopping at Singapore Changi Airport, and also planned to have a late-night dinner during the layover, a proper meal after so many days of exploring and only living on coffee and snacks. After collecting our boarding passes and completing the formalities, we finally took a small break and enjoyed a well-deserved coffee at the airport while waiting to board our first flight scoot, air-operated by Singapore Airlines flight to Singapore.
After 5 amazing days in Macau, it was finally time to say goodbye. From the historic streets of Sonato Square and the ruins of St. Paul's, to the beautiful views from Macau Tower, the charming villages, delicious food, grand casinos, and unforgettable experiences, Macau has given us so many memories to take back home. This trip was filled with long walks, beautiful sights, tired legs, endless photos, and moments we will always remember. As we waited to board our flight, there was a little sadness in leaving, but also a lot of happiness for everything we got to experience. So goodbye, Macau. Thank you for the memories, the beauty, and the adventure. And soon we boarded the flight and took off from Macau, and in just under an hour we landed in Singapore.
Once we landed in Singapore, we still had a long layover before our next flight back home. So we decided to make use of the time by exploring more of Singapore Changi Airport. Since it was duty-free, we did a little shopping from some of the luxury brand stores and picked up a few things before continuing our journey. After all the walking and shopping, it was finally time for a well-deserved late-night dinner at the airport. It felt good to sit down, relax, and enjoy a proper meal after a long travel day. Once dinner was done, we spent some time resting and even managed to grab a quick nap before boarding the next leg of our journey back home.
After grabbing a quick nap at Singapore Changi Airport, we soon woke up and got ready to board our next flight back home. This was the final leg of our journey, and in under 5 hours, we finally landed in Bangalore. And with that, we have come to the end of this video, and also the end of our amazing Macau trip. It was a journey filled with beautiful places, long walks, delicious food, grand casinos, shopping, unforgettable views, and so many memories to take back home. Thank you so much for watching our Macau travel series. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until the next adventure. Goodbye, and take care.